You're watching Justice Central.
For me, it is about the law and people. That is not a legal defense, let me tell you, and how people can resolve and better themselves.
Justice with passion.
I knew I was going to go into law because I always defended everybody. I was always the one who found a solution and tried to resolve the problem by having people talk to each other.
Justice with truth.
So I'm giving you one more chance to tell me the truth.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Pérez. Josie Meyer is suing Trent Cameron in the amount of $1,649. Ms. Meyer claims Mr. Cameron swindled her out of her money after he promised to repair her credit score, but left her to do all the work. Mr. Cameron says he did exactly what was promised and attempted to fix Ms. Meyer's credit score, but claims the plaintiff is just upset because she didn't get the results she wanted.
Ms. Meyer, you are suing the defendant for over $1,600 because you believe he has defrauded you. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Explain to me what happened.
I admit that I have bad credit. I have bad credit mainly because of a student loan that I took on that was unsecured, and I did not realize at the time that I would have to pay that back immediately. I also got a credit card at 18 without really understanding the entire financial responsibility that I would have to pay it every month. I did not have income to pay it back every month, so my debt grew. And I had a child, and I'm now working full-time. I'm also a nursing student, so I have a lot on my plate right now. I realize that my financial situation is holding me back from getting things like a house, a car, and is preventing me and my family from really prospering. And so I really wanted to, with a sense of urgency, improve my credit and improve my financial status. I saw Trent on social media. He's a friend of my ex's, and I read his website, and I saw all the great stories that he had about transforming people's lives by improving their credit, and I contacted him via social media to see how he might be able to help me improve my credit. I had been doing some research on my own up until that point, but I figured I needed a professional to help expedite this process because I need it to happen. My child is growing, and I need my credit to improve fairly quickly.
Okay, and what kind of professional are you, Mr. Cameron?
Judge, listen, I'm a businessman. I work really hard to become an entrepreneur and work for myself. I learned early on in my career that the key to success is to find a service that most people don't want to do for themselves or don't know how to do it, and
so then
help them along.
what kind of service do you provide? What kind of business do you run?
So about 4 years ago, I opened up a credit repair company. My buddy Jonathan was one of my first clients. I fixed his credit. He hasn't looked back since.
Tell me how you fix somebody's credit. I mean, I know are things that can be done, but what is it? What's the service you sell?
So I go through their credit history, and I look at all the creditors that are trying to get in contact with them, all the debts that they have. I go through and make sure they're all they're all debts that are significant or that actually belong to the person. Right? There's identity theft and all that happens. But I go through and call the creditors and check what the status is on each of their debts, and I help my clients respond or dispute to those debts and kind of get back on track into making the right financial decisions to help them succeed in, with credit reporting and everything.
Okay, so essentially that's it. You look at their credit report. You look at any outstanding debts that they have to see if they really belong to the individual, and then you advise them on how to get rid of that debt.
And the advice includes my consultancy services, where I provide the process for them to get a lot of those debts resolved. I help them.
What do you mean? What's the process?
Well,
what do you provide?
Like for Josie, I was able to get a lot of the letters that she needed to get sent out to her creditors. I actually ended up going to her house to make sure that she wrote her letters, and I stamped them myself, dropped them off in the mailbox myself, just to make sure that they got done. I also helped them plan out how to get new loans and how to repay their old loans. So pretty much fix the mistakes that they've made previously and make sure that they don't make those kinds of mistakes again. Okay.
All right. So is that what he delivered to you?
No.
And you charge how much for this service?
$16.49.
Okay, and what did he do, Ms. Mayer? Is that what you believe he promised?
No, I
that he was
believe
going
that
to do, or what did he promise you he would reimburse you? I mean, that he would help you with?
He promised that he would dispute all of the errors on my credit report, but there were no errors. I know that I have a bad credit because I took on an unsecured loan. I know that I have bad credit because I took on a credit card way too early.
Did he promise you that he would try to negotiate with the company?
Yes.
And to reduce the loan and maybe pay it off and then take it off your credit? Is that what he promised?
The contract I signed explicitly said that he would be able to speak on my behalf to the creditors, which is what I looked forward to, which is what I invested in. And
let me see the contract that you signed with Mr. Cameron.
I have, here's, on the top is the letter that he did not write. I actually had to do all of the work myself, and that's part of the reason why I'm suing him, is because I was already on my way towards doing these things. He didn't even give me a specific format to write it. He gave me a template which was very general and vague, not specific to my scenario.
Coming up on Justice for All.
Your Honor, after I sent that letter, it reactivated a debt that had already been put off because I was under financial stress, under financial burden.
You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Pérez. We're back with the case of Josie Meyer, who is suing Trent Cameron for breach of contract.
Did you research Mr. Cameron in this business before you paid him $1,600?
I went to his website and I read the stories that he claims that
website,
Could I offer a page
it's
from my
not
website?
talking to him. I mean, it's not seeing what he really does. Did you sit down and maybe try to find a client that he had worked with before?
I knew him personally from an ex-boyfriend of mine, so I trusted in that relationship, and so I trusted that his website was authentic. I trusted that his words were authentic. I trusted that when I signed the contract that said that he would be the one to dispute all of the things on my credit report, that he would actually be the one doing that and not me, because I could have paid myself $1,649 to do exactly what I did for myself.
Yeah, you could have, and you probably could have done a better job. And probably used that $1,600 to pay off some of your debt. Mr. Cameron, what else do you have to say for yourself?
Your Honor, I'd like to present a page from my website that is meant for customers exactly like Josie, that's a little finicky. It's called What to Expect. I lay out that, I promised them to help with their credit report, but, I pretty much convey that I'm not a magician, right? I can't go back in time and I can't fix, the mistakes that she's made, right? But I did promise her that I would help do the best that I can, right? And the best that I could was to go back and get everything organized, right? I mean, she was completely...
So essentially she paid you $1,600 to be... to organize her debt and to read through her credit reports.
She paid me $1,600 so that I could go back and evaluate and analyze her debt and provide her with a plan of action to fix her debt.
And what was the plan of action?
And the plan of action is we disputed those
You didn't dispute anything, so...
Yeah, yes, I did, Your Honor. The thing is, in the background,
that he didn't dispute anything. You just
I did call. I had to go through and call all of the creditors that are on her report. So I had to make sure that everything was valid. And when I went through and called all the creditors, there were 5 or 6 creditors that we thought we could kind of get into a conversation with to kind of help with her debt.
But she validated everything on her credit report. She told you that those are all her debts.
Right, but she wasn't paying them. She wasn't paying the debts.
So
right.
You were trying to call and negotiate a lower rate or a payoff, a settlement?
Either a lower rate.
Do you have any proof of that?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any proof of that?
Those were all phone calls, and that's why I had to make her write the emails, because that's standard protocol. Is they need to write, my clients need to write their letters for their own debts, and it needs to go from them to the creditors. And yes, I provide a template letter, but that's exactly what they...
letter?
The template letter is the same letter that you can find if you Google a template letter to send out to your creditors. It was not specific to my case, and it was something that I had seen while Googling things, and I expected something more professional, more specified to my current situation.
Well, Your Honor, that's exactly what the creditors expect, right? They want the letter formatted in a certain way so that they can look and go, okay, here's the information, here's other information. I can put these things two things together and make a decision or make a conversation happen. They're looking for a certain type of letter, and that's exactly what I gave her.
Your Honor, after I sent that letter, it reactivated a debt that had already been put off because I was under financial stress, under financial burden. It had made me...
I got it, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Cameron, you're a good talker. Because, I mean, he basically sold you, hey, let me look at your credit report, let me read it, let me tell you what's wrong. That's something I could have done for you for free. But this is what we're going to do. I can't, you actually contracted him to do what he did, okay? But what we're going to have him do is we're going to have Mr. Cameron do a little homework, okay? I want you to provide to me, Mr. Cameron, in writing, an analysis of her credit report. And I want you to tell me who you've called and when you've called. And I'm going to review that. And I feel if that's not appropriate and if there's something else you can do, I'm going to give you some homework to help her. Because if you really care about your name and you really care about helping her out, you're going to have to do something about it. Because taking $1,700 from somebody just to do nothing,
and it's not nothing, Your Honor.
Not
it's
ethical.
Not nothing.
Well, I listen, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. So here's this one. Either I change my mind and I make you pay, and you pay her $1,649, or you actually do what you were supposed to do. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll do that. You report back to me. You have Renard's contact, and we'll make him live up to his word and see what else he can do. And you know what you're going to learn is that all of this you could have done by yourself.
Exactly.
That's it. The internet is magical, okay? But now he's got work to do, okay? He's going to earn his money. So based on that, I will deny your claim, but we will make sure Mr. Cameron does his homework to help you out, okay? Good luck.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I came to you to fix my credit, and you took complete advantage of me, and there's nothing I can do.
I didn't take advantage of you. I'm happy to do the homework that Judge Perez assigned me, but we'll see that I did everything that I possibly could.